Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we get into the disclaimers, probably something I'm going to do on video after I finish up the front loading. So it's been over a year and a half. Since the whole CS spectacle happened. In which case, after being questioned about her movie music, she then proceeded to attack the autistic community, use ableist tropes, and protect her defense of Autism Speaks. Eventually, we had our say. The movie flopped. Thank God. And we thought that this conversation was over. But no. She decided she was going to play the Elon card. What is the Elon card, you might ask? Well, it used to go by another name. It's using an autism diagnosis like it's a shield to protect yourself from well-earned criticism. What am I talking about? This got released by the Daily Beast today, 2 years after Sia received backlash from casting neurotypical Maddie Ziegler as autistic character in her movie music. Sia revealed that she herself is on the spectrum. First of all, way to simplify what happened. There was a lot more going on there with just simple disagreements with the casting. Now, I'm not going to tell you that's not where the questioning started, because it did. And if you go back on those threads, you will see that those questions started extremely politely. We were in no way, shape, or form attacking her. But she lashed out. We asked her about why was it that she feel it was appropriate to use a hate group like Autism Speaks as the primary informers on her movie. She attacked, even after we politely tried to explain our case. She called an autistic actress, "Maybe you're just a bad actor." And then that's not even getting to the movie itself, where scenes where the autistic character is inappropriately full body restrained, where the full body of the adult covered the child. We have numerous cases and receipts on kids with autism who have died that way. We tried to let her know this, and she promised that she would remove it. She did not. She doubled down on her support for Autism Speaks. She continued to lash out at the community that at first approached her with kindness and just some genuine questions. We did this because, for God's sake, we are still, to this day, compared to Rain Man. Representation matters, folks. What most people see autistics as is what is displayed in the media and by Hollywood. And they act accordingly. It's sad, but it's true. This is where, by and large, the majority of neurotypicals get their information from. Okay? We were asking legitimate questions. She lashed out. She doubled down. She insulted. And now, this comes out. And you have individuals sitting there trying to say that we need to apologize. For what? What am I apologizing for? For asking questions? For showing a concern on how I and people like me, and especially how nonverbals are being shown to the mainly neurotypical masses? Because I'm not going to apologize. And I don't have to. I don't give anyone a free pass because they get a diagnosis. People are people, atypical or neurotypical. And just like in the main neurotypical community, you've got your good people and you've got your, trigger warning gonna curse, and you got your assholes. You got your ableist twit bars. Okay? A label is not a get out of jail free card. We're not just gonna sit there and whitewash all your misdeeds, your comments, and your attacks on our community because suddenly you are now claiming our label. Now, she may be autistic. She may not be. I do not know. I am not a personal person who has even any the slightest connection to this individual. However, regardless of if she's one of us or not, that doesn't give her a free pass any more than it gave Elon a free pass. Okay? The autistic community is tired that some of the individuals who count themselves among us will sit there and use their label as a way to act, do, say whatever they want to, and they feel like because of their diagnosis, they can never be criticized for it or called out. That's not how reality works. If you are a troublesome human being, I'm going to call you out on it. If you viciously attack my community, when we approached you in the beginning with kindness, asking genuine questions, I'm going to call you out. And I won't apologize for it. I am tired of people feeling like that they can use labels as a means and a way to shield themselves from any form of media or otherwise scrutiny. It's not how any of this works. I will call you out whether you're one of us or not if you act in a way that is unbecoming of literally anyone. Okay? When you do a movie that is depicting individuals with my diagnosis, especially those that people try to close out as much as the nonverbals, and you do so in such a harmful manner, using all the ableist tropes that have been used against us for decades, when you double down on your support on a particular group that has been trying to annihilate us for almost 2 decades now, you suddenly getting the diagnosis does not give you a free pass. Now, there's a difference between this opinion and her fans who are sitting there trying to tell us we're gatekeeping. Let me explain to you the difference. Gatekeeping would be me slamming my fist into the table and saying, no, I don't believe her, she's lying. She's not one of us. That's gatekeeping. That's what Autism Mommy TM does every time they demand our diagnosis papers. I'm not going to do that to Sia. I don't know whether she's autistic or not. but that doesn't excuse her actions. I don't understand why this is a difficult concept to understand. Now to the disclaimer, shall we? Because I'm just about done with God. When am I not done with humanity? Neurotypicals do not get to explain to me what gatekeeping is and gatekeeping isn't, first off. Neurotypical society does not get to dictate to me who I apologize to and who I do not. Whether it's the Sia fans or the AH stands who've been pulling the same crap all day today. Okay? I'm allowed to have my opinions. I'm allowed to state those opinions loudly. I'm allowed to provide receipts to back those opinions up. You're allowed to disagree with me. Hate me, call me names, I don't care. But I'm still allowed to do it. And I refuse to be intimidated or silenced by anyone. And if you think you're going to pull that crap on an ancient, cranky autistic like me, you don't know me that well. To the disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they've threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. Also included is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Also linked in there, the Ozark's first article in regards to the Agape boarding school / now known as Stone for Help boarding school situation, a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens, that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who's still on the premises with full access to the boys, up on multiple substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You have an attorney general who's too busy chasing after drag queens and trying and failing to defund public libraries to actually do his job. And you got a governor who wouldn't know how to do his job if you gave him a pencil and someone to dictate it to him line by line in small 3-letter words. So send help. Don't forget to share that article on all your social media. We have, as always, the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, and the ever-present, self-explanatory Change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, folks, please use your headphones, all right? This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity on occasion. We speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is very much advised, all right? All right, square your shoulders. Prepare yourselves, because trigger warning, we are about to once more descend into the mad ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, pseudoscience and lies, abuse and torture apologencia, all from a man with a massive ego and even larger God complex. So be prepared for the condescending amount of word salad stupid we are about to endure today, okay? All right, here we go. Finally, to the summary. This man decided he needed to make his summary over 30 pages long. Send help. Summary. The investigation that the MDRI asserts they conducted was not an investigation, but rather a kind of witch hunt using biased and often anonymous sources whose purpose was to find and generate negative allegations about the JRC. Dude, what in your right mind makes you think that we just sit there and make up crap about the JRC all day? That really, truly, we have nothing better to do in our lives just to sit there and say, we should just attack Dr. Matthew Israel because it's Tuesday. Seriously. It's a smear campaign against the JRC. For why, Doctor? That's a question Dr. Matthew Israel has never answered. Why would we be conducting a smear campaign against you, Doctor? None of us get paid for this. None of us have seen a single dime for coming after your school. Not one. I know some of you idiot Kool-Aid JRC drinkers have accused me of being paid by George Soros, but in my defense, it's not exactly a mansion. I mean, I'm proud of it. I work hard for it, but it's not a mansion. And for God's sake, it's in Missouri. You really think I'm here of my own will? In this state that hates me. We have no incentive to go around doing a witch hunt on poor Dr. Matthew Israel. None. What motivation? What is the motive, Doctor? What is the motive? This is when I talk about neurotypicals and not understanding common sense. It's like the people who just say, you're just doing a smear campaign against AAH. Again, I ask. No, Doctor. That is not what happened at all. But I can tell you that happened because I've been a part of this movement for, God, over a decade. Is we got wind of the Andre McCollins case. You remember that, don't you? I know you do. And we started digging. Because as we all know, this world does not care about us. So we have to protect each other. So if we feel something horrible is going on, we're going to go digging. And you know what we did, Doctor? We did exactly that. What you're calling biased is ER documents. It's video surveillance footage. It's your own words. It's DESI reports. It's the reports for what you got up to in California when your first student died. It's the reports from Rhode Island. It's more than just so-called anonymous sources. By the way, Dr. Matthew Israel loves to bring those up. What he's not going to tell you is why would these kids bring these forward as anonymous? Because you tortured them, Doctor. And the JRC is known for intimidating witnesses. Now, aren't you? You're known for hiding documents. You are literally yourself known, Doctor, for ordering the destruction of video surveillance footage that was demanded from you in a court of law. That's not bias, doctor. The other sources that were mentioned, in particular the New York team and the doctors and the psychologists that you continue to say aren't qualified, hold the same qualifications that you do with one major difference. They still hold their licenses. You do not. That's not biasm, doctor. These states that these individuals have come from have declared that these folks are qualified. You do not get to decide who's qualified and who's not. It's not how any of this works. No effort whatsoever was made to look at both sides of the issue or interview any person supportive of adversives. No effort. You hear that, folks? No effort. Never did anything whatsoever at all to show their side of the story. None. This is the link that I keep so that I can make sure that it comes into every single video that we have. Never showed their side. Never read anything other than those opposed to JRC. At all. Never did. Funny. Real funny, doctor. Do you see what all these are? These are all the articles, the parent interviews, the testimonials that you continue to sit there and lie and tell everyone that the MDRI did not look at or consider. Starts, look at this, Dr. 1994. 2006, 2007, 2008, 2010, when you wrote this insanity. You're lying, doctor. The difference between us and you is we can provide the receipts to show that you're lying. Not only on your insane ideas that you call treatment, but what you say about us. Autistics are notorious receipt keepers. When we think something is relevant, we will pull it. We read the articles, doctor. We listened to the testimonials. We went to your YouTube page while you sat there and forced those kids to utter lies. Kids who later come out to let us know they were lies, by the way, because they were no longer under threat of you. No effort, folks. No effort to see his side of the story, none. Cute, right? Doctor, we read your crap. But we know it's crap. Don't tell us we don't make the effort to see your side of the story. We did. The problem is the side of your side of the story is insane.
It reads like a Stephen King novel.
If Stephen King didn't know how to write and could only speak in word salad. It's like a bad parody of Ross Perot. because, he had a graph that he created from his own data, from his own biased team he pays to prove it. Because, Paul, what was that line? I'm right because this paper said that says I'm right, and the doctor said I pay agree with me. As a result, the allegations were generated by this report are unproved, highly biased, false, and or misleading. No, doctor, they've been proven. They've been proven in a court of law. Multiple times, I might add. It's been proven by the case of California versus BRI. It was proved in Rhode Island, why you are no longer allowed to set foot in that state either. It's been proven by the ER documents of numerous students, DESI reports, and for the love of God, doctor, your own surveillance footage. How are we lying when we have video surveillance footage? That's not misleading, doctor. This is very much you pounding your chest trying to say, but I'm a doctor, and are you going to believe me or your lying eyes? Doesn't hold weight. Especially not someone like me who has worked the field. We're going to close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.